Yo, how's it going, Wargamers? Steven here. Welcome back to Command Centre Wargaming. Alright, everybody. So, it looks like we've had another leak. So, a few hours ago, there was a post on, and now I've heard it's from Daka. It might have originally been from Daka. But the source that I found basically comes from Bolter and Chainsword. Okay? And it was a post here made by, let's see, who was it made by? Just having a look here. It was Robbie and W. Looks like it was Robbie and W. Okay, so Robbie and W made this post yesterday to Bolter and Chainsword. All right, around about near midnight time, basically revealing a leak or a possible leak as to what might be going on in the new Shadowspear box, all right, coming out. Now, first of all, I'd just like to say a few things about this. Well, I did actually go and find the original author because I'm just like that, and it is available. Also, as well, that it's just very important to understand that, you know, a lot of the times these rumors can be correct, but a lot of the times these rumors are just, you know, absolute wobble. So the thing is, I just want to say, just everybody, just take this, you know, pretty much as much of a grain of salt as you can. Now, because guys, here's the thing, right? I don't want to rain on everyone's parade, all right, and get all like super excited. But most of this kind of stuff we already knew, so it wouldn't really be. It's not hard to get a whole bunch of stuff we already know, add one or two things to it, and then just make up some rubbish. And I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, I could have taken a guess that the Master of Possession from Chaos would have yielded a 5-up invul. All right? That wouldn't have been hard. I wouldn't have had to have been a clairvoyant, you know, like, wouldn't have to have been a Primaris Psyker, all right, to be able to, like, guess that. And, you know, lo and behold, for the Space Marines, you know, a lieutenant, another Primaris lieutenant, how would I have ever have guessed, right? So, like I said, it's not hard to just grab this kind of stuff and then just, you know, maybe the person might have seen a few rules and basically they might have just chopped and changed some stuff. So, you know, just take it with a big grain of salt. We already know most of this. We know what the units are. We know what they're basically coming in as down here as well. So, you know, it's no secret. We've seen most of it. We just wanted to see inside the box and see what was going on, right? And, you know, there was a leak, I remember, with Chapter Approved. And I actually covered like 5-6 videos on Chapter Approved. And, you know, I remember one of the leaks was pretty close, you know, but there were some inconsistencies. So, like, you know, and what it was sort of reminiscent of is someone who'd seen something or basically maybe flashed something at a shop, or maybe they were working on something, maybe one of the artists or maybe one of the testers, you know, basically was looking at something and, you know, they had a quick access to it and they might be able to get some stuff there. Remember a lot of it, like 70% of it. And then, you know, just to add some fluff, they'll go through and they'll basically just, you know, guess, estimate the rest. We'll use the word estimate because, you know, it's an educated guess. It's not out of the park. I mean, you know, I can tell you now that, like, you know, Primaris Marines are probably going to have 2 wounds. You know, like, it's, you know, with most of this stuff we have access to. We can compare the Master of Possession to other sorcerers and things like that. So yeah, there's no evidence of. I was talking to only Adonis before. He actually linked me this a while ago, and but I've been very busy today with real life stuff, so I wasn't able to get online. But yeah, and he was saying, we were discussing, like, we were a bit disappointed that, you know, there's no actual transport in this or speeder in this or anything like that in the box set. But look, let me be frank. Like, I wasn't expecting it to come in the box set. It's like we kind of worked out, like with Abaddon, you know, like we sort of worked out that Abaddon would be coming and that he would come on and he'd come on as like a separate sort of in a separate pack, right? So it's no massive deal there, guys. But just so that we know, you know what I mean, sort of what's going on there, all right? But yeah, so let's go through this. I'm just going to go through both the sides. I'm going to have a little bit of a talk about things as I'm going and let you know my thoughts. And you can check out the website. I'll put the link to this website down below on Bolter and Chainsword as well. So you can check out on Robbie NW's article if you want to read some more about it. Also read some of the comments down below. You know, what some of the other people in the community have been saying. So awesome. So yeah. Okay, so he says here this is the rules info that Hot Rod posted. So Hot Rod was the original poster of this article, probably from Dakar. So I got to look at the rules for Shadowspear early. I don't want to post the actual pictures of the rules as not to trace them back to my source that sent them to me, but I do have some info, right? I mean, you know, so all good. I mean, all right, you may as well just post the pictures of the rules. Like, it's kind of like you've posted all the rules. You could post pictures of the rules. Like, the rules are going to look at data cards. They're going to know someone here has, you know, got this from a data sheet. Like, you know, people know who have access. GW know who has access to their IP. So, you know, it was either, you know, this has either been a staged leak from Games Workshop, or, which probably is, to be honest, because, you know, that's the way they're kind of going to release stuff. It all builds hype. You know, or it's some people, you know, boogering around. But I mean, what could be happening here is that, you know, Games Workshop have been hearing that, you know, a lot of people have, you know, been quite disgruntled about the knowledge of the release and that it's drawing out, which it is. And they might be going through and sort of like looking for an excuse to sort of like push it forward, you know, or just to release a little bit of information, you know, not to go like full conspiracy theory on yours, but it's kind of like, you know, it's like, you know, it's like we want to deny aliens exist, right? So you tell people, you tell one half of the people that they don't exist because they can't handle the truth, right? And then you sort of release the information for the people who want them to exist or do know exist to actually have the information. So then you could turn around and you could say, well, it wasn't really disinformation because we told you about it. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So yeah, it's kind of like, it could be an orchestrated leak by Games Workshop, basically just saying, well, you know, for those of you who want to know, who don't want to wait, who can't wait for us to release it officially, here are the rules. You know what I mean? Here we go. And, you know, we won't leak it like, you know, through an official source, because if we do that, we're going back on our word, and they can't do that because they've already set like a timeline. And if they breach their timeline for release, then they're going to be looked at, you know, inconsistently. Even yeah, like straight up, like even by a couple of days, like 3 days, 4 days, whatever we're at now, right? So, you know, anyway, but that's my 20 cents on it, everybody. But let's have a look. So, two sides, Chaos side and Space Marines, right? So, the first off, we have the Master of Possession, which is that Volash Soul Seeker or whatever it is, the sorcerer guy with the awesome Rams staff, okay? So, he's basically a sorcerer that knows 2 powers, which, you know, anyone could have just guessed, right? As I said, there's no big deal there. He has a 5+ invul for being Demonkin. So it looks like this Demonkin might be Black Legion's kind of little special thing, whereas like Death Guard might get like a 5+, you know, feel no pain kind of thing, you know, disgustingly resilient, and it could be that Black Legion get like a 5+ invul. You know, the invul being weaker because it can still be offset by, you know, psychic powers like Null Zone and things like that. So, you know, whereas like, you know, with Death Guard, it's like they just get to feel no pain. That's it. There's no real way to block it, you know. So yeah, but anyway, so that's that. Two powers is pretty standard. I wonder what the points cost of all this kind of stuff would be. I think, you know, you could just imagine like probably like a Sorcerer plus, maybe like 25 points. Plus 25 points for the invulnerable save added on. Yeah, cool. So the next one we've got is a Greater Possessed. So squads of 1 and 2 can separate after deploying together. That's an interesting rule, right? Strength 5, Toughness 5, Wounds 5. So I guess these guys were pretty much going to be very similar to Aggressors. So if this is correct, they pretty much are, except that like we've got the toughness 5, but you've got 5 wounds there as opposed to 3, right? So and they give +1 +1s to all friendly. Sorry, it's hard to read this, guys. Mark of Chaos, Legion, Demon units within 6. +1 save. Sorry, guys. I've just, it's looks like they've copied and pasted it from a text file here, so it's a little bit, ambiguous in the writing. So attacks 5. That's a lot of attacks. These things. So yeah. Strength 5, toughness 5, wounds 5, attacks 5. Gives +1 to strength or +1 to saves to all friendly Mark of Legion Chaos Demons within 6. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what they mean by that. Do they mean like 1 to strength or 1 to the save value? So that's pretty interesting, but we'll have to see what happens there. And they give that to an aura to be within 6 of them. So, would it be fair to say that these units are sort of like mini commanders, seeing as though they have an aura buff about them, because it just seems like a little bit weird that units like this are going to give a 6-inch aura without being like a commander or a HQ, which is kind of why I'm kind of looking at these rules and I'm sort of like, it kind of looks like someone's seen something and they're just trying to like fill in the gaps. They're just trying to guess the rest of it. They might, because someone goes through, they show you a photo, they said, oh, here you go, man, whatever. They might not necessarily be sent photos, but they might have just been shown something really quickly, so they've tried to sort of fill in the gaps. 1 squad of Chaos Marines, 1 champion with axe, which we've already seen, we already know about, 4 with bolters, 3 with chainsword and bolt pistols, 1 with a plasma gun, 1 with autocannon. That's interesting that you're going to have autocannon Black Legion Marines and the flying suppressor squads with autocannons in the same box. But we'll have to see what happens. No ability to switch out what's in there. So I assume they're monopose. Of course they're going to be monopose. It's a box set. That's what GW does. They're going to go and basically get the monopose out there in the box set. And they're going to then basically go and release, individual multi-kits later so they can sell more of it, And then they're going to do all the different lines in the thing, like Emperor's Children and all that. But I'm just wondering, you seem to be all knowing about all these stats, but you don't know if the models are monopose or not. So, you'd think, you've been literally given access to the whole contents of the box. You've seen all the strength attributes and everything inside the box, but you don't know whether they're going to be 100% if they're going to be monopose. So anyway, whatever. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this could be 100% accurate, but I'm leaning to more 70% accurate. And I'm not going to sit here and go blow my top and be like, whoa, guys, oh, wow, we got this friggin' thing going on. And, oh, wow, oh, God, let's give me some more YouTube views. Oh, raise the roof for the Emperor. It's just some rules. We've known most of this stuff has been leaked already. All right, so awesome. So Obliterators, toughness 5, now with 4 wounds. Flesh metal guns are the same, but they now have crushing fists, +1 strength, AP -1, D3 damage. I assume there will be 3 since squad size is still 3. Again, you're assuming a lot considering you're claiming to know everything in the box. So again, as I said, it's just assume. He's assuming. It's just very weak. It's very weak, guys. The only stuff that we've really got solid here is the stuff that we've already know about. Most of the other stuff here, he's just assuming. So I could have wrote an article like an hour ago and saying, oh, I've got this information on all this stuff, and I could have just assumed some rules and then made a forum post. You know what I mean? So I could then make a YouTube video of it and try to get more views. But, what can I say? I just like saying it how it is. So, all cool. So the next one is the, so say Obliterators, toughness 5 and 4 wounds. Okay, cool. Yeah, went through that one. And we knew about those. 1 Venom Crawler, 10 wounds. So strength 6 goes down to 5 and 4 per bracket. Again, that's just standard stuff. No shock horror there. Armed with Excruciator Cannon, Assault D3, Strength +2, AP -2, D3 damage, and Eviscerating Claws, Strength +2, AP -3, and 3 damage, as well as a Soul Flayer tendrils. Okay, that sounds about right. So, you know, and Strength User, AP -2, 2 damage, does 2 additional attacks with this weapon, blows up on a 5 and adds 1 to demonic summoning rolls for Master of Possession within 6. Okay, so that's interesting. So I'm just trying to see. Doesn't say anything about demonic summoning for the Master of Possession here at the top. So, like, again, like, I'm just being cynical. But, you know, like, yeah, like, why wasn't that mentioned here in the Masters of Possession if it was mentioned there? Anyway, whatever, cool. So, apparently that's that. And, yeah, so that's the Chaos. So, it's pretty interesting. I mean, like, the rules, like, the stats are standard. The stats are standard for what I would think about coming from Chaos in this instance. However, like, the actual rules themselves seem to be written a little bit amateur here. Now, that's just my opinion. Like, whether that's because Games Workshop have written amateur rules or whether, like, that's because someone's just filled the void is another story. And I'm not saying it was, you know, Robbie NW. I'm just like, you know, or anyone like that, or even the person with Daka. You know, it could be anything. Things can get miscommunicated, you know what I mean? But we will see. We'll see how it goes. Space Marines. So, like, but I'm a doubting custodes, guys. Like, I mean, as I said, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, drop my shipment of spice like Han Solo every time someone posts something on YouTube or on Bolter and Chainsword and then go running around, you know. So, you know, I'm going to check this stuff out, you know, and I think it's very, very important to have a look at this kind of stuff. So, you know, and see it how it is, you know, because really until we get official word from GW or we actually see pictures, which are suspiciously nowhere to be seen, even though we've had pictures for the Assassins leaks, we've had pictures for even the chapter approved leaks, we've had pictures for all this, but for some reason, these guys were just uber paranoid about sticking some, like, quick photos up on the net of some rule sheets that, like, anyone who would have got those rules would have basically known where they're coming from anyway, now that they're posted here, right? So, I mean, look, in fairness to the author, it could be that, you know, they changed some stuff up a bit, so it's not too accurate. So perhaps, like, if GW come on and they basically say, like, oh yeah, okay, like, it's fake, so it couldn't have been this person, they've got all this information wrong, like, that's true too. Okay, that could be the case. But anyway, so we're going to Space Marines. So first off, Librarian in Phobos armor. Librarian that can be set up anywhere from 9 away from the enemy deployment zone and models. Also has a camo cloak, which adds 2 to the saving throw in cover. This is huge. I think this is really huge, everybody. Like, I mean, just getting, like, a Librarian, even just deep striking in there on turn 2, like, I assume he's going to be, you know, I assume he's going to be compliant with the deep strike rules and that he can only come in on turn 2. But still, like, I mean, you can imagine, like, you know, you can race something up there. You're already in psychic range. You can cast powers. You can start smiting stuff. You know, you can cast null zone on stuff while your jet bikes are charging forward or whatever other transport's going on here. So it should be pretty cool. And the camo cloak, which adds 2 saving throw in the cover, this is massive too, because he's not part of a squad. He doesn't need to have a whole squad to basically do this. So this librarian, can essentially come in and got a new brother there. That's awesome. And so subscribe, everybody. Subscribe to the channel if you're here. Awesome. Command Centre Wargaming. Thank you so much, brothers. Welcome to the channel, whoever that was that I just clicked off quickly on the screen. So basically, yeah, look, to have a librarian coming in 9 away from the enemy, deep striking in directly in cover, adding 2 to his saving throw is pretty massive. Because remember, he doesn't have to come in exactly 9 away. He can come in, you know, 12 away, you know, 15, 16 away. You know, he could come in, you know, just within smite range. You know, I mean, any range you want. So that's pretty huge. And then to think about it, I mean, I think about like if they're going to sort of like write rules out where they're going to start giving Blood Angels these rules, like librarians and stuff like that, then, you know, and I imagine in time they might, because that's what GW might like to do, because, you know, GW want to sell minis. That's what they do. But anyway, so yeah, so then we got the captain in Phobos armor, right? And this is the Captain Archon or Archeon or whatever it is. The guy that I was saying was Teleon before. So it looks like he's not Teleon. Oh, well, I thought that he might have been. He looks exactly like him. I'll be cutting a video directly after this one talking about him. That actually came out first, but I decided, look, this is probably more important. So, you know, all good. And so, yeah, so he's coming out and where are we here? So, same as a librarian, but is a captain. So that means this Phobos armor seems to be able to teleport people around, right? I mean, that's how I'm reading that. How it says same as a librarian, but as a captain. Does that mean he gets the deep strike rules as well? You know, I don't know. So you know, we'll just have to wait and see. Armed with a master-crafted Instigator bolt carbine. Strength 4, AP -2, 2 damage. That sounds about right. Can target characters even if they're not the closest. That sounds awesome and about right. Has a combat knife too, same as Reavers. Yeah, I mean, you can see that these Marine Vanguards basically seem to be like, you know, a hybrid of tactical Marines and Reavers, like, to be honest. So it's cool, because I've got a box of Reavers here to finish up. I might be able to convert them to some Vanguard, yeah? So, like, who knows? Lieutenant in Phobos armor. Gee whiz, like I said before, shock horror. I never would have thought that they would have released the Lieutenant. This must be leak. This must be leaked all across the system, brothers. Oh, my goodness. Cool, quick, call the Inquisition. Who got this out, you know? But anyway, so I think we even saw him before anyway on the box. So the same as above, has Mastercross Oculus Bolt Carbine, Strength 4, AP 0, D2, units don't get cover saves against it. Also has a combat knife. So yeah, so again, you know, same as above. Does that mean that he can deep strike in or not? So, you know, anyway. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, everybody. Eliminate squad of 3, which is standard for, like, you know, jump jet dudes like the Interceptor squads. They have bolt sniper rifles. Oh, sorry, this is scouts. My apologies. They have bolt sniper rifles, 2 different ammo types, both heavy 1, range 36, strength 4. Sounds about right to me. Or I would have thought they would have been heavy 2, but anyway, heavy 1's fine. Executioner rounds are AP -2, D3 damage. Okay, that's why it's only 1 shot, because you got D3 damage. And rolls of 6 do mortal wounds, so your standard scout sort of thing there. Mortis rounds are AP -1, 1 damage, can target units that aren't visible. That's massive. So that means any of these Eldar and that trying to hide their characters behind their vehicles and stuff, or any characters really that are trying to, like, you know, sort of hide their vehicles, these guys can get to them. I have a feeling these Eliminators are going to be the stars of this, rules-wise, of this kit. These guys and the Librarian, okay, in terms of the Marine. I haven't really thought much about the Chaos guys yet, but the Chaos guys just seem to me, like, it's awesome, don't get me wrong, but they just seem to be, like, to me, just like brute strength, like a, you know, 5 wound model just coming at you, you know, bang, right? You know, Wolverine, right? So that's what I'm seeing. It's like, you know, Chaos are kind of like the Harkonnen. Chaos are like the GDI. They're coming at you with the Mammoth Tank, the brute force. Whereas the Space Marines here are kind of, you know, they're really going that other end. It's covert, you know. So they're almost sort of reacting like Eldar here when you look at the units that they're fielding. You know, fast moving, heavy support. You know, jumping around, heavy support, movement 12, you know, snipers, rangers, etc. You know, heroes that can just teleport in, who, you know, psychics. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like we're looking at Chaos versus Eldar at the moment, not Chaos versus Marines, but I like it because it adds flavor. It adds crap loads of flavor to Marines. So right now, the Primaris, it's like, so what's the difference between Primaris and Chaos? Well, Chaos don't have Primaris, granted, but it's basically like, you know, bang, you know, I see you, I shoot at you, we attack each other, then we assault. Now, you know, it's kind of like the Marines are taking on a sort of like this covert stealth role, and it's going to allow you to play a lot more tactical with them, and I think it's beautiful. All right, so yeah, and if you want your brute force, you just mix in your normal Primaris Marines. So yeah, so they don't get cover and add 2 to hit rolls with these rounds. Also have the abilities of the Librarian, so they can teleport in. By the looks of it, that's what I'm getting for that, because I doubt they'd have psychic powers. Which sounds like to me, anyone with this Phobos armor, it sounds to me like this Phobos stuff is like this experimental armor that basically just allows people to sort of like phase in, warp in, or something like that. So I would take an estimate that, you know, anything with Phobos armor is going to be coming in at 9, right? So awesome. So that's the Eliminate squads. Then we got the Infiltrator squads. That's interesting. Squad of 5 can have up to 10 with an Infiltrator Helix Adept, armed with a Marksman Bolt Carbine, Rapid Fire 1, Strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. Each unmodified hit roll, hit of a 6 does an instant hit wound. Helix Adept is basically an apothecary. It can heal or revive a model in a unit. Okay, are those Marine Vanguard guys that look like the tactical Marines with the gas masks on the thing that we've kind of already seen on the box? I mean, like, I haven't seen Marine Vanguards mentioned here, which is really interesting because, like, I mean, hasn't that already been officially announced? Okay, whatever. Like I was saying, guys, I just see some holes in this, but, you know, who knows until it's released. This might be 100% factual, right? You know, and awesome if it is. I'll be buying it just the same. So sorry about the fireworks, guys. So so it can heal, awesome. So Suppressor squad of 3 can deep strike with the grav shoots. 12 movement. They can have accelerator autocannons. Heavy 12, strength 7, AP -2, 2 damage. Also, when they kill a model in a unit, that unit can't shoot until the end of the turn. So I guess it cancels out Overwatch. Okay, well, you know, who knows really till we see the rules. But again, movement 12 can deep strike in. So again, like all these units so far pretty much have some deep striking ability. So I attribute that to the Phobos armor. So yeah. Okay, that's all I have. I can give more specifics if anybody likes for stat lines. I don't have points values, I'm afraid, but I do have the power levels. So why not post the power levels? Anyway, whatever. All good. All right, guys, I'll wrap this video up here because there's a battle clearly going outside my building. That's outside my building. So next thing you know, Abaddon's going to smash through here, and all good. But look, that's my breakdown of the leak. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel. And thank you very much to all my dedicated and loyal subscribers as well. And even if you're not a subscriber, thanks for watching anyway. All right, everybody. I'll see you in the next video, which I'm going to cut up right after these fireworks finish. Take care, guys. I'll see you on the battlefield.